Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. My name's Luke, and I just put out these. I've been putting out these daily fantasy YouTube videos for about a week now. So feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. Definitely helps me out. Let me know what you think of these videos. So yeah, we got a great game tonight with the Cardinals going into Seattle as 3-point underdogs. They did open up as 4.5-point underdogs, but the line's moved since then. It opened at 56.5, and it's up to 57.5. So once again, like the last time they played, a ton of points expected to be scored. It should be a really exciting game. So yeah, let's get to it right here. So I just want to kind of go over real quick the things that I'm going to be getting to. So first, I want to just start. I'm going to show this player pool that I have right here, essentially, kind of just how I'm looking at the slate as a whole. And then I want to show some value that I think is going to be popping up. So I think Dan Arnold, if Max Williams misses, he could be pretty viable on this slate. And then I just want to show the Arizona, their outputs. Seattle, same thing here. And then just the Cardinals running backs as well. So it's just to let you know kind of what I'm going to be getting to. But I'm going to start with the player pool right now. So I have the player pool right here. This is kind of how I'm looking at this game as a whole. I don't think I'll be playing any players outside of these guys. Just some notes first. Travis Homer, he's doubtful. And then DJ Dallas, I'm sure he'll be active, but I don't think I'll find myself playing him. I feel like Chris Carson's going to play. But if he were to not play, I guess DJ Dallas could launch himself into consideration. But as it stands now, I really don't see myself going there. I'd rather just play Alex Collins. But yeah, to start it from the top here, we have Kyler Murray at 13,000. Definitely worthy of being the highest priced player in this game. He's been a machine lately. It really has been all year. His rushing ability is incredible. And that's kind of reflected in the Kenyon Drake and Chase Edmonds prices. I feel like they're going to split ownership pretty much maybe right down the middle. I feel like Edmonds is a pretty good value at 5,600 in this kind of in-game environment. Probably catches a few more passes than you might expect. And it is a short week, so maybe they're more likely to just split that workload and let Edmonds, factor in as much as he usually does. So, yeah, and then so moving up to the studs, Hopkins 10,800, Metcalf behind him, and he's priced ahead of Lockett. Lockett put up 56 points in this spot last time. So maybe people look at the game log and they think, oh, well, obviously I'm playing Lockett. He's lower priced. He put up 56 last time. I'm easily playing him. But I don't think people really think like that anymore. Maybe a few years ago they did. I think that they're going to make their decisions pretty much independent of that for the most part. Now, there will be some people that do just easily playing Lockett. But still, I think ownership probably split between the two of them. But they're all, all these guys up here are priced up pretty high. So a player that I think that could be finding himself maybe worthy of the captain spot is probably Christian Kirk tonight. Now, he's not like a value. He's not that low priced, but he's also not extremely high priced to where it's like, restrictive for the rest of your lineup. So maybe he's a decent call in captain. He doesn't need a ton of volume to get there. He's a deep threat. Seattle's secondary has not been great. So maybe Christian Kirk finds himself in a good game where maybe he gets the bonus, catches a touchdown pass, and then he's a great play in the captain at that $7,400 price tag. And if people are trying to fit all these studs at the top, maybe Drake and Edmonds also are finding themselves into the captain spot more than they typically would. So another thing to note, Chris Carson is questionable, like I was saying. But I feel like at this time he's going to play. But if he doesn't play, I guess that really makes Alex Collins a very, very chalky play. He would open up a lot, especially because he's only 3,800. And then Max Williams as well is questionable. So if he doesn't go, I feel like it justifies Dan Arnold a little bit more. Dan Arnold's out there a lot, but he's just not too involved. So all it really takes too, if these high-priced players pop off for big games like 25 plus, if at least three of like Kyler, Wilson, Hopkins, or Metcalf go for more than 25 points, you're gonna need maybe like a 7 to 10 point score. If that's what it takes to fit them into your lineup, then 7 to 10 is gonna be just fine. And then if one of these bargains down here, if one of them catches a touchdown, then they're immediately, they vault your lineup way up. If it's what allows you to fit a game where the total's 58 points and there's expected to be massive scores from guys like Metcalf, Lockett, Hopkins, and the quarterbacks. So whatever it takes really to fit them, even if it's only 7 points, it's perfectly fine. That's all you're kind of looking for down in this range. Even Freddie Swain, he's on the field like for 25 to 35% of the snaps, depending on the week. But I'm not sure how many people are going to gravitate towards him. Probably barely any. So maybe you find you slide in some of these guys down here. But Jacob Hollister actually lost a ton of work last week. Greg Olsen played over 70% of the snaps, so probably not too comfortable playing him. He did have a good week 2 weeks ago, though, so maybe, short week, older guys, Larry Fitzgerald and Greg Olsen, maybe they actually play less on a shorter week, and it vaults guys like Andy Isabella and, Will Disley up the ladder a little bit. And then at defense, really, you're not playing these defenses hoping really or expecting good scores. It's more about, can they put up like 8 points to allow me to fit these studs that if they go off for huge games. So that's essentially how I'm looking at this. The kickers are probably okay as well. Probably find themselves being played more than a typical showdown slate just because of the way the construction is shaping out. Just to recap this here, I think the most kind of direct correlation play on this slate, probably like for a big hedge in massive tournaments. If Chris Carson's active, if you were to put him in the captain spot and he scores 2 touchdowns, I feel like you have a pretty defined path to how else you need to construct the rest of your lineup to just vault yourself up the leaderboards. So it's probably you captain Chris Carson, and then you can go like Kyler and then double stack him. Something like that I feel like might be very low owned, and again that's contingent upon whether or not Chris Carson actually plays, but I do think even if he does play, still sees lower ownership than you would expect, if he weren't hurt to begin with. So as I had previously stated, Max Williams is questionable, so if he doesn't play, maybe it just increases the usage for Dan Arnold a little bit more. Max Williams did catch a touchdown last week, but yeah, so Dan Arnold, I just want to find these guys that are capable of like an 8 to 10 point game. And I think that right now he's shaping up to be a pretty decent option, especially at his price. I'm not sure if I'll end up going there in like cash necessarily, but we'll see overall. See if anything else opens up. Chris Carson, if he's out, then it's Alex Collins. So like you might not actually have to go down this far, but we'll see with that. So now I'm going to move on to some charts. So I just kind of like to lay out these charts to see really who's capable of having these huge games together on the same team. So like you can see here, Hopkins and Kyler, they can both go off together. But there's also weeks where Kyler might, he's led them the most in points, where he might actually, his points kind of come at the cost of another player. So you can see there's been times where Hopkins has had very subpar weeks, but Kyler has been able to go off. So like you can definitely find reasons to play Kyler without any of his pass catchers. Would I recommend it? I'm not really sure. I mean, in tournaments, I guess anything's possible. In cash, I'm not really sure as of yet. But I do think Kyler, if you can't really argue with someone who's doing whatever they can to get Kyler Murray into their lineups, right? Especially in a game environment like this against Seattle. Although it is the second matchup within the division, the total's still a ridiculous 57.5, so I don't think anyone's really concerned about that there. Now I have Seattle here, so you can just see all of them capable of like a ridiculous ceiling, all three of these players, Metcalf and Lockett alike. And Wilson, the thing is, he can go off without them. He's been able to spread the ball around. There was that week earlier in the year where I think he threw like, it was four or five touchdown passes to like 4 or 5 different receivers. So he can definitely spread it around. And again, like Metcalf is priced up so high to the point where just because he gets like 20 points on a showdown doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to need to have him to win. So that's just something to keep in mind. You can definitely find ways to play Wilson without these guys. But again, that would probably mean you're going heavy on the other side. You would want to make sure you have Kyler Murray in those lineups. So then we have Kenyon Drake and Chase Edmonds. I feel like something that's going to be very low owned is both of them in the same lineup. And that's probably the way it should be. but on a showdown slate, short term, anything can happen. But again, I don't think it's necessarily a testament to them that they can't, like, that they're not great. I think it's more just Kyler's taking a lot of these, like, high equity rushing spots, in the red zone and stuff like that. And Kyler's just literally a threat to score from anywhere on the field. So that's just going to be hurting Drake, Kenyon Drake and Chase Edmonds' production just the whole year in terms of their touchdown expectation. But Chase Edmonds is more likely to catch passes. So I think that at a lower price than Drake, I think Edmonds could find himself being more popular. And, I can't really argue with that. I think there's arguments to be made for both of these guys. So, yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this. I just wanted to give a quick overview of my thoughts. Let me know what you think about this. You have any questions or comments, let me know. So I'm on Twitter at LukeRayDFS. You can follow me there, or if you're seeing this through Twitter, I put the YouTube links up on Twitter as well. Feel free to like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll look more up for Sunday's main slate moving